less than 24 hours away from Wisconsin's high-stakes recall election, a contest that could have implications for the presidential election and other budget-crunched states. It is for sure the most expensive campaign for governor ever in Wisconsin, fueled largely by out-of-state groups. The spending, nearly $64 million. Republican Governor Scott Walker and Democrat Tom Barrett, the mayor of Milwaukee, spent their final weekend of campaigning trying to seal the deal.
That's really what's at stake, whether or not we're going to move the state forward or backwards. We've laid out a clear plan. We've kept our promises. We moved the state forward, $1 billion worth of savings, property tax relief.
That Scott Walker's reforms are not working for the middle class. We're delivering a message of hope, and that come Tuesday we can have some leadership that will be for the people of Wisconsin rather than the billionaires in Texas.
MSNBC's Ed Schultz, host of The Ed Show, has been following this story from the beginning. And I know, Ed, you've been there all weekend. Good morning. Thanks so much for being here. Give me your impressions of what you saw, who you talked to over the weekend. How do you think this thing is going?
Well, intensity here in Wisconsin is not a problem. Everybody knows about it. They've been inundated with the information on both sides. The voter turnout here is going to be the big key. It's been a very intense weekend here in Wisconsin. I've been to Racine, I've been to Burlington, Milwaukee, and also here in Madison. But it's going to come down to this, Chris. It's going to come down to Milwaukee County. All you have to do is look at the numbers. Now, I know there's been a lot of polling out there. Both sides are saying it's very close. But Milwaukee County, if you look at 2010, only 37% of the Democrats came out and voted. If Barrett can get 50% or a little higher of those folks to come out when it comes to turnout, it is going to be very hard for Scott Walker to keep the governor's chair here in this state. It's about turnout. It's about Milwaukee County, the African-American communities, the Latino communities, because the rest of the state is pretty much set. I mean, everybody knows where you're going to win and how you're going to win, but it's turnout in Milwaukee County and the Racine area, which is going to be very important, and that's where the get out to vote intensity took place this weekend. In fact, it was so intense, Chris, in Ashland, Wisconsin, some get-out-to-vote groups got together and knocked on every single door, 7,000 doors in Ashland, leaving no stone unturned. So that's the kind of effort that's been out here.
Yeah, that's interesting because when I'm reading the analysis of the polls, what I'm seeing is that, interestingly, the mayor is actually winning the independent vote. But the reason he's trailing is because they're saying that there isn't as much enthusiasm, there isn't as much intensity on the Democratic side. You're not feeling that?
No, that's not the case at all. There is a tremendous amount of confidence on the ground by the Democrats. They know that if they can get their people out, that they can win this thing. The question is, where has Walker gotten better in Wisconsin? How is he going to increase his vote total from 2010? It was a down year for the Democrats. Go ask Russ Feingold. Go ask Tom Barrett. Well, they're now back. And the Democrats are energized in this state. And yes, they've had to put up with a siege of money coming from out of state. There's no question the Republicans own the airwaves when it comes to the commercials and the signage. But the Democrats feel like they have exhausted a great effort to get their people out, and they're very confident. And you'll see in the last few weeks that the polls have gotten very, very close within the margin, to the point where both parties, we are told, have already contacted lawyers in case there is a recount. And here in Wisconsin, it has to be 0.5% of the vote, the closest of it, to trigger an automatic recall via the Constitution of Wisconsin. So it's going to go down to the wire. It's about turnout.
Do you think Bill Clinton helped Mayor Barrett?
There is no question. There's no question that Bill Clinton coming to Milwaukee was exactly where he had to go. He had to go talk to those folks in Milwaukee County and cut right to the chase on exactly what has happened in this state. A lot of misinformation about the budget. This state is not running a surplus. It is not running a surplus. There's been a lot of gimmickry going on as far as the budget is concerned and putting it on the backs of future generations. But this state is in the red under Scott Walker. And also, I ran into a lot of teachers this weekend. The American Federation of Teachers has put a lot of effort into the door-to-door and resource this get-out-to-vote effort. There's teachers wherever you go who are upset, who are concerned about the $1 billion that has been cut from the state budget. Here in Wisconsin, that's infuriated a lot of people. They're concerned about the product in the classroom. Of course, Scott Walker calls those reforms. Those are cuts, is what they are. And property taxes are still going up in some portions of the state to make up for these cuts. So it's who you want to believe. But what we're finding on the ground undoubtedly is a lot of intensity, and it's about get out the vote.
MSNBC's Ed Schultz, thanks to you. And don't forget, Ed will have special coverage of the Wisconsin recall elections tonight and tomorrow live from Madison. That's at 8 Eastern right here on MSNBC.